Your mind is actually set up in such a way that it's only going to really pay close attention to anything that might go wrong. It may put you at risk. That's where our mind goes. Welcome back to another Wellness Talks. My name is Todd, and in this video, I'm going to give you a strategy to help you actually balance things out so that you're going to have more energy to be able to do the things that you need to do in a day and keep your focus on the things that went well for the day, giving you some of that energy back and helping you see the bigger picture. At the end of the day, we want to go ahead and start to put a gratitude practice. Now, I know this is all over the place, but just hear me out because there's a really good reason why we want to put this towards the end of the day. You could have a bunch of great things that happen all day long. You can have 10 things that go fantastically. You have 10 things that happen. 8 of them are perfect. You solve a problem, you're getting things done at work, and you're just gliding through the day. 2 things, however, they don't go how you want. And what we begin to do is we've got these 10 items, 2 of them aren't going how we want, and all of a sudden we find ourselves focusing heavily on these 2 components. 10 things, 8 things went really well, 2 things not so much. So the gratitude practice at the end of the day allows us to actually address a primary component. The number one job of your mind, of that thinking mind, that problem-solving mind, is to solve problems and to keep us alive. And that last part, 20 million year old, evolutionary system, keep you alive, is partly why when the mind is looking at all of these things, you've got 8 things that went right, 2 things that did not. From the perspective of that aspect of yourself, those 8 things that went right, they're not life-threatening. They're not problems. So therefore, your mind, this part of yourself, does not care. It's only concerned about these other 2. What makes this even harder sometimes to handle is that sometimes these 2 problems, they're not solvable right now. They may not be solvable at all. And so your mind is going to continuously fixate on trying to figure out a way to solve that problem. This is where repetitive thoughts, and imagine all the energy that you expend on a problem that you're in that you can't solve right now. Maybe you have to go to court, maybe you got to get your car in, maybe you have to go to the dentist, maybe you need to get into the doctor. You can't do anything about it right now. It's the weekend and you got to wait until Monday or Tuesday to get in and do what it is you need to do. We're wasting energy. We're ruminating on that component. There's nothing else we can do about it. The only thing that we have is to be willing to accept that right now, this is how it is. And so we focus on those 2 components. And this goes again, even if it's something that lasts longer, it's a chronic illness that's not going to go away. We have to also, again, just recognize, oh, this is what's happening. Then what we want to do is at the end of the day, to better be able to manage our energy, is to also balance out this natural tendency by doing a very simple practice of finding 3 things that you are grateful for and focusing on those. So if you look at this, what we're really going to do is just bring 3 of those 8 things back to the forefront. Now, of course, as you're doing this, you're probably going to keep thinking of those negative things. That's okay. But what we want to do here is to bring those 3 things and highlight them. And we're starting to just offset. We're balancing our natural tendency of the mind to focus on an issue. All the energy that's being lost, just going after this, running around in circles. Now it's positive. You've been utilizing that thinking mind all day long. It's not a bad component. It actually helps you solve those 8 things that are no longer a problem. But we got to balance this out. And it could be super, super simple. So I try to do this myself at the end of every single day. Most of the people that I work with, when I give them this to try and they are able to stick with it, that's a big key, is you can even use something like the 4 domains, and you can put this inside of there, probably the health area, gratuity practice, end of day gratitude practice, something simple that you can work on, tying these concepts together. And it could be 3 simple things. So for instance, last night I was grateful that I got to practice my violin. I was grateful that I got to be out and put one of the garden beds in place. And I was grateful that I had a really good meal. My wife made some fish last night. It was really good. I sit at the end of the day and just be thankful for a few of the things that I am probably taking for granted and that the thinking mind is not paying that much attention to. It's just not a problem. So why would the mind continuously focus on that? It makes a lot of sense if you just step back and take a look at that. This is why this is such a big deal. This is why people are pushing this. This is why you'll actually find it also in a lot of the religions. And you even have a great holiday totally surrounding this, Thanksgiving Day. What are you grateful for? So it's already underneath there. It's just not something that we typically grab and make a daily practice. We probably should be making this a daily practice. So the gratuity practice then at the end of the day. So to sum up then, we can actually tie all three of these things together. So we can go ahead and we can use the 4 life domains to get a better assessment of what's going on. We can go ahead and look at the energy that we're actually expending throughout the day by utilizing a token system, taking it from one pocket, putting it to the other. And at the end of the day, we can just try to balance out our mind's tendency to focus on the negative by putting 3 positives, 3 things that we're grateful for. This overall strategy, these are 3 components to basically managing that energy and making sure that we can do this throughout the day. And I know it's not like a go and eat this or drink that or go work out and then afterwards you'll have more energy. There's nothing stopping you from putting that into one of the appropriate domains. If you're going to get an energy drink or have a cup of coffee, well, that might be a strategy for you in health, but you also know that there's a cost for when it comes to some of those things. So what I'm doing is trying to just pull back and allow you to actually see a greater context so that you can make more wise decisions and know that you actually have a system in place, an overall overarching system